healthy body supports a healthy mind. And you're not just what you eat, but also how you eat and when you eat. I find, especially in the West, there's a lot of focus on calories and nutrition and eating healthy and salads and things like that. And all of that's important. But for every person, every body type, they're going to need different nutrition. And it's not just about what you eat, but also what time of the day are you eating, right? Are you eating a heavy meal right before going to bed that you can't digest? Are you skipping breakfast on a regular basis? And how are you eating? Are you eating on the go, in the car, moving around, watching TV? Or, do you sit quietly? Do you, sit consciously with your food? These are some of the Ayurvedic aspects to eating well. So when we're in a healthy mental state, we will digest well. And when we digest well and our bodies are in good shape, we'll also feel good and our mood will be good as well.
So I am a hard worker. So what I've done is just kind of with a square sheet of paper, wrote my I am statement and a little kind of drawing to go along with it. So I encourage you to do a little drawing if you feel the need to, alongside your affirmation. And I kind of just glued mine onto some pattern paper that I had laying around as well.
You can put lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig. Well, you can try to organize clutter all you want, but it is still clutter.
Finally, why it matters, why we need to be aware. Because depression is not a normal part of aging. It is not a sign of weakness, and it's not a character flaw. It is something that can be treated and can be made better.
And this is why we say that procrastination is not about poor time management, it's actually about poor mood management. So the research literature does not support a view of poor time management for procrastination. That doesn't cause procrastination. It's been discounted in several studies.
So far, we've talked about the importance of having a protracted timeline for your work to allow for error and creativity to come in. And we've talked about having a strong base of wellness. But now what I want to do is get into the actual day-to-day techniques that I use to tackle my work, taking advantage of my neurodiversity as well as auditory learning skills. So initially I had talked about, I really struggled with school because I was always focusing on writing and reading. And those are things that I don't personally do very well. So what I needed to do was switch to auditory-based learning. So in class, the way that I'm capturing information is really more by listening. So if you can have a course that's recorded, or if you can ask your teacher to record, or if they don't allow that, really just paying attention in class, maybe jotting down some keywords, making sure that you're centered and focused in your courses.
Good habits. Good habits pay us in the long run. Good habits are like our best friends, and good habits in the beginning you may have to do consciously, practicing something or maybe habituating yourself in doing something, but gradually our body, our system, and in our mind, it becomes like part of our personality, part of our routine, part of our consciousness and existence. Then that just goes without you being worried or being concerned, or that not like a task you have to do. It just happens.
Okay, so let's start with why. Why would you grow food in the city? And I think the obvious thing about having fresh produce that you find tasty, that you like, is the obvious one. But also, it's very good for individual well-being. So gardening is a kind of gentle exercise, and particularly if you're someone with reduced mobility, it's a good way to get out and get moving around.
So you can see this tree. Its roots are completely exposed. The ground has collapsed underneath it, but it's growing on either side of the crevice. This is resilience. This tree is adapting to its environment and the challenges that it faces. You can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf. So you really can't stop the unexpected, stressful challenges that can and will come your way. But with strengthened coping mechanisms, strong networks of support, wellness tools, goal setting and stress reduction activities, you can impact how you respond to these situations and ultimately recover faster.
What can we do about it? How can we manage the effects or even prevent the effects of burnout and stress? So remembering to unplug is one way. Getting proper sleep is another. So remember, we want to give our body a chance to recharge that battery. So making sure you get your 8 hours of sleep a night and regular amounts of sleep will also help ensure that you can get a chance to recharge that battery to its fullest.
Okay, how do I trust myself when the anxiety says the opposite? Yes, correct. See, we have dual scenarios in our brain, in our mind, always contradictions, like yes, and when something else says no. Yes, we don't want to get caught up in this dichotomy. Instead, we should overcome this duality or doubts and confusion. So at the end of the day, what prevails is your spirit, your heart, and your intuition, and your being, and the spirit of your prana energy. So obviously, when we get entangled in this duality, we lose our energy. During that time, I think what I would do personally, I take time and find some space for yourself, and then allow the mind to settle down, anxious mind to settle down, so that but fortunately the system is so beautiful in nature. Nothing is stagnant. Everything moves, changes. Something new comes in. So just have to allow a few moments for such anxious mind to settle down, and by consciously becoming close to our breath. If you can manage the breath, rhythm of your breath during that moment, you can manage your emotions and your thoughts.